From TCO Sports Garden in Vadnais Heights, Minnesota, we are proud to present continuing live coverage of the Tradition Company's NIT tournament here in Vadnais Heights, Minnesota. Games also going on in nearby Blaine, Minnesota. And over the course of the weekend, this is your home for the tournament, hselitehockey.com. Joey Wright in with you as we prepare for what is the third game of this Friday slate of the tournament here in Vadnais. It's Washington Pride U16 taking on MSP White. Just a few moments away from puck drop here in Vadnais. It'll be MSP White in the, as you may infer, the white uniforms. Washington Pride U16, the black and gold. Nice uniform matchup we have in front of us here this morning. As we get set to go. Now, how these games will work, folks, 3 15-minute periods, much like you would see in a standard game. The clock will stop for stoppages of play, whistles, penalties, things like that. The clock will stop. A lot of times at these tournaments you get some different rules, some running clocks, things like that. 2 halves is what, if you were with us in Connecticut a few weeks ago, I don't believe either of these two teams were there, but the NAHA Labor Day tournament utilized 2 halves and a running clock. Not the case here today. 3 periods and stoppages as we get set to go. Teams in their huddles. As I mentioned, this is the third game to drop the puck here in Vadnais today. Over on Rink 1, the Madison Capitals and Washington Pride U19 teams are playing. And the first game this morning here on this rink was U19 Team Wisconsin and Little Caesars. Glad you're with us on hselitehockey.com. As we get set to go. For Washington Pride, it's Kyla O'Brien. Or pardon me, O'Brien in the circle there. And for MSP White, it's Grace Sedura. As we're underway here, team's working it along center ice. And now here's MSP White in the offensive zone. An early opportunity shot on goal, ricochet. And Washington will emerge with it. And trying to bring it up the ice there is Mia Estrada. She can't hold on to it, and MSP White trying to set up another opportunity here. So in the first 30 seconds, they've come out of the gate strong as we get our first stoppage of play. 14:32 left, period 1. And we'll have a line change early on for Washington Pride. U16 team, as we mentioned, for Washington Pride. And we'll have a face-off here again for MSP. It's Grace Sedura. And can't quite get a look at who that is for Washington, but Washington had the face-off. Now MSP is going to take it. And they'll shovel it in along the boards. Pride comes out of it, and that's Alexandra Hemingway. Hemingway working it along the boards here right in front of us in the living room, and it's going to be Eli Schmunis for Washington comes out of it with the puck. And MSP will dump it back in, so we'll see if Washington can set something up. 1 minute gone by here, scoreless game, and we did have a penalty for Washington. And that went against, that was for MSP. Grace Sedura is in the penalty box. Minute 20 left on that penalty. So this is a power play opportunity for Washington. A little 5-on-4 action, we'll see. MSP doing a good job killing it off thus far. And back it goes. Sammy Hankinson will control. Back near her own net. First time Washington's had it in their offensive zone. See if they can do anything with it. MSP is going to come out of it here. Lauren Zawoski brings it ahead. She's got an opportunity and a goal. See if they count it. They will. Well, how about that? A short-handed goal to start things off for MSP White. And that was, as I said, Lauren Zawoyski with the goal there. So MSP on the board. Still shorthanded for another 30 seconds. They've come out of the gate strong, to say the least. They'll bring it ahead. Mary Zavorel. Zavorel, right side. Shot was just a little bit high, might have been deflected. MSP still on the offensive end, but Washington might have a chance here. Sarah Payne passes it along now to Ave Medier. And the pass ahead to Catherine Wiley. She couldn't hold on. And MSP might have a chance. It's 1-on-3. Bringing it in is Zavorel. Zavorel off to the left. Nothing cooking. Gets it back. Keeps it behind the net. MSP stays on side, and we'll see if they can get something going here. Up to the top, and Addison Finn had it redirected. MSP continues to maintain, and they've got a shot front of the net, turned aside. Nice save there. And the goal for Washington is Avery Schiff. Nice save from Schiff there. 12 minutes to play here in the first period. MSP works it behind the net. It's Ryan Wright. Up to the point, and a shot turned aside. So here's Washington bringing it ahead. Good defense from MSP. They'll make Washington reset it there, as we've got a whistle and a stoppage with 11:44 left, period one. Just joining us, MSP White with a 1-0 lead. They scored on a shorthanded goal about 2 minutes into the contest. Both teams at full strength right now. 3 shots on goal for MSP White, none for Washington. So we'll see if Washington Pride can get that turned around. As MSP sends it back, it's Olivia LaRoche behind the net. Brings it ahead, pardon me. And MSP in the offensive end again. Brought along the boards. Right side, and it's Olivia LaRoche. LaRoche down in. That was Mary Zavorel. Now LaRoche, right side, and the shot was turned aside. I think it was deflected again there. And they work it along the boards. Now it's LaRoche. LaRoche. Risker from way outside, no dice. They'll get it ahead right in front of the net. Good look. Great save from Schiff. Schiff has put together a solid few minutes here. You know, MSP got that early goal, but she's been solid since. She's had to work quite a bit. Behind the net, LaRoche, and Schiff will glove it and stop it, and we'll have a stoppage here. 10:31 to play in the first period. So about 4.5 minutes gone by. And this is a power play opportunity again for Washington. In the penalty box for MSP is Addison Finn, graduating class of 2024, and Finn sitting for another 40 seconds. See if Washington can grab control of the puck here. They need to get some momentum going sooner rather than later, but still plenty of time to play, of course. Just about 5 minutes gone by in period one. And here's going to be a shot for Washington. Turned aside. And now up to the point they couldn't handle it, and they'll have to get back onside. And the goal for MSP is Sarah Peterson, graduating class of 2023. Along the boards, and Washington playing with a little bit more aggression here. Now they've got a chance. That was Pinky Rasmussen that couldn't quite hold on to it there, but Washington will maintain control. And along the boards here, see if Washington can shovel it out. Washington Pride, U16, and MSP White. And here's one in the front of the net. Easy glove for Peterson, and we'll have a face-off. 9:22 left in the first period. Glad you're with us. Joey Wright in with you on the call. Washington Pride in black, MSP in white. relatively appealing uniform matchup. And folks, if you're with us beyond this game throughout the rest of the tournament, that's something we will see throughout. A lot of great digs in this one. Here's MSP winning the faceoff, taking it up. Grace Segura along the right side. Good job by Washington to gather control. They'll take it ahead. It's 1-on-2. Up is Catherine Wiley. Wiley has it poked away. And MSP will bring it ahead. And they've got numbers. Over to the right. Nice pass. We might have a look. Nice save from Schiff. Schiff down to the 5-hole, made the save. The first one had slipped in under the stick there between the pads, and she makes a nice glove save here to stop play with 8:33 left. So pretty good goalie play here early on. And again, more shots on goal, more opportunities for MSP. Just about halfway through the opening period, a little less than halfway through, in fact. Face-off won by MSP there, and they'll get it into the corner. Digging and digging and digging. MSP gets out of it. They'll have a look here. Good defense, though, from Washington. They will poke it away. MSP keeps it onside, and we'll have a look. It's Lauren Zawoski. Scored the first goal of the game. Dished it back there. I believe that was Alyssa Antonakis, and it was. Couldn't convert. Had a look at it there. Couldn't snag it away. And now Antonakis comes in, the rebound, and it went in. We'll see if they count that there. And they will. It's our second goal of the game. MSP White leading it 2-0. Believe that was Antonakis who scored it. So MSP leading 2-0. 7:50 left in the first frame. And they'll resume play quickly. Now up. And a shot on goal there from Zawoski. And that was saved by Schiff. So Schiff makes the save there. It's MSP 2. Washington Pride still scoreless with 7:45 to play in the first. Face-off won by MSP. Left side, and Washington will force them to get back onside. Good defense there as they shovel it in behind the net now. Eli Schmunis for Washington. Pardon me, no, that's Maya Lerner. Lerner along the boards. She'll shovel it ahead to Katie Melvin. Pardon me, Maya French. 9 and 6. French is 9. Melvin is 6. I don't even know if Melvin's on the ice right now. Right side, MSP working it along. And Mary Zavoral. Zavoral was looking for Carly Humphrey. Didn't have it. And they'll battle along the board. See who emerges with it. And they will get it back now to Humphrey. Humphrey over to LaRoche. And Washington forces the turnover there, but a miscommunication is going to get it back behind the net. And Washington will have a chance to set something up. Pass ahead, intercepted by Sammy Hankinson. Hankinson dishing back. That's Grace Bickett. And into the offensive zone, but it looks like Washington's going to win the race to it. Scraping along the board. And now here's a look for Washington. Washington bringing it ahead. It's Rasmussen. Rasmussen now behind the net, contested by Hankinson. And up in front of the net, but there was nobody home for Washington. MSP will take it ahead. Taking it ahead is Zavoral. Zavoral, right side, shot on goal, no dice. Nice save from Schiff. Turned it aside. Goes way back now, and the team's race to it, but Hankinson wins it for MSP. Splitting the defenders now. Nice move. Right side. We'll see what she does. Stolen away by Washington. Good defense from the Pride. Now back, and it's Caitlin Ron. Ron, center ice. Poked back to the boards. Pass got back to Ron. But now Washington will send it, center it up. And it's shoveled back along. 5:30 to play in the first frame. And a goal for MSP, their third of the game with 5:26 to play. Did not catch folks who scored that. My apologies. But MSP increases its lead to 3-0 with 5:26 to play. Beautiful offensive play from MSP White. And we'll have another face-off at center ice. And that face-off won by MSP. Washington not out of it yet, but MSP has controlled the opening 10 minutes or so. 5:15 to play in these 15-minute periods, first frame. Back behind the Washington net. And a battle for it along the board there in the corner. Coming out of it successfully, Washington. Now Washington over. That was Catherine Wiley, pardon me, who got the pass. And she'll come out of it here, so we'll see what Wiley can do. Wiley, the forward. Looking for a teammate at center ice. Got her. And that teammate is Mia Estrada, pardon me. And Estrada lost it. Poked away by MSP. They'll take it ahead. It's Catherine Hogg into the game now. Or Hogue, pardon me. And now an opportunity for Schiff, and she'll glove it. We will have a face-off. 4:27 to play, first period. 3-0. Vadnais rink number 2 here. The beautiful TCO Sports Garden in Vadnais Heights, Minnesota, host to this one. Shot on goal. Pad save from Schiff. And now back behind the net. Sent ahead to Olivia LaRoche. Or that would have been behind LaRoche. MSP still with it. And pass. They were looking to center it up there to Rachel Agerter, and it was a good look. She just wasn't quite in the right position. Washington sends it back, but MSP wins the race. Now it's Grace Sedura. Sedura works the left side relative to our camera. Sedura brings it in. And the pass intended there for Olivia LaRoche. LaRoche was contested well. Good defense here from Washington. MSP still may emerge from it, though. We'll see. They're battling along the board there, right in front of the Washington bench. And it is centered up, and Sedura off the pad of Schiff. Nice save. Great look there for Sedura. Sent in, right, and it's Sedura with the look. Turned around, just a little bit off target. Now behind the net. See if Schiff can stay with it. Centered up in front of the net. There was no one home for MSP. Now in. Still a good look for MSP. Sedura there just to the right of the net. Couldn't have it. See if Washington can dump it out and maybe get things reset here. It's been a good minute or two for the MSP offense. Sent to the boards right in front of us. Grace Sedura. And a whistle here. We'll see if it's offsides. And it will be. Offsides against MSP. Sedura heads to the bench. Great shift for the forward class of 2023. Right side, and it's Ellie Chapman. Chapman and a save from Schiff. .227 to play, first frame of 3. And folks, as I mentioned at the top of the show, we will play 3 periods. Sometimes at these tournaments, the rules change a little bit, but we will still see 3 periods of hockey throughout the tournament, complete with stoppages and all. Here's Washington trying to set something up offensively. Molly Murphy sent it in. And they were looking for Pinky Rasmussen just off to the right of the net. Instead, it's MSP bringing it off to the left board there. Now behind the red line. MSP steals it. They'll try to bring it ahead. Washington playing good defense here. It's a battle. Antonakis for MSP and Hemingway for Washington. Washington sends it back behind its own net. Trying to poke it away from MSP here. Minute 30 to play in the first. And MSP, folks, they've just been on it, making it very tough on Washington early. MSP's got to get onside here, and then they might have a look. Sent to the right. And offsides. The pass was intended there, and it was a good look at Mary Zavoral. Zavoral just wasn't quite in the right place for the pass, couldn't handle it, and an offside against MSP. Their faceoff unit has been very strong, though. They win that one, and they'll send it in. Here's a look behind the net, and MSP has done a great job setting up those opportunities from behind the net here in the last 5 minutes or so. Haven't gotten a goal from it, but they've been close. Washington, good defense. They will get it into the offensive zone. See if they can get a goal here before the first period ends. 45 seconds left to play in P1. Good look for Washington, for MSP, and that was Schiff who came out of the net to try and deflect it away. She was successful now. 30 seconds left, P1. Along the boards. Washington giving chase. It's Maya Lerner. MSP with the shot. And a beautiful slap shot there from Addison Finn, but it was deflected away. 15 seconds to play. Period 1. 3-0 MSP. They could tack on one more. Centered up. Nobody's home. Washington tries to send it back. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. And we'll have a whistle with 3 2/10 of a second to play in period 1. Won't be a very long intermission between periods here. They do ice, I believe, at every second period. Every other. No, that's not how I want to describe it. It's every 2 intermissions is when they will come on for ice. If I understood that correct, shot for Washington comes as the clock expires, and that will end the first period. We'll see what the intermission entails here, folks. We have only had one game, so still trying to pick up on those patterns. But after one period of play in 15 minutes, 3 for MSP, still nothing for Washington Pride U16. And MSP White, also a U16 team from right here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Vadnais Heights, a suburb of the Twin Cities. And we will only have a minute intermission. I'd like to go ahead and thank our whole crew here this weekend. Will Vanderbilt, just to my right, he is on the camera today. And over on the other rink, former NHLer Paul Ranheim is on the camera. He does not have an announcer on rink 1. I'll be over there with him here at 10:50 a.m. for the next scheduled game. Tradition Company's Red and Team Colorado U19, but Paul over on the other rink. No commentator for that game for him to get a shout-out from, so we'll go ahead and thank Paul for his service here today. Next game on Rink 2, and we'll be back behind the camera for it. That's going to be U16 Northern Elite Green and Madison Capitals U16. Puck drop scheduled for that one at 11:20 a.m. Full weekend of hockey here in Vadnais Heights and over at Fogarty Ice Arena as well. We have crews over there, and a lot of these teams will split time between both rinks. Not all of them will. Some of them just posted up at one rink for the weekend, but a lot of the teams we will see over the course of not only this game and today, will split time between the two rinks. Great weekend of hockey here in Minnesota. 15 minutes on the board, set for period 2, and it's 3-0 for MSP White. They win the faceoff, and it's sent back. Olivia LaRoche trying to set things up, and they bring it ahead. MSP White has really come out of the gate strong in that first period and here in the opening seconds of the second. It's that explosive attack that has them in the lead. Sent in, and here's a chance for White. Centered ahead. Good save from Schiff. Still loose. Another shot in, wide of the net. And Schiff would have been a little bit out of position there if it had been on target. MSP still working it behind the net. Trying to set something up, and they've been effective at centering it up. They try to do it there, and Washington stymies the attack. Now along the boards here in front of the MSP bench, sent back to Carly Humphrey for MSP. She sends it in to Aiko Sims. Haven't called that name much today. Sims sent it back behind the net, and Washington now has a chance to set up an attack, as Washington brings it ahead. It's Grace McCluskey. McCluskey, pass went back to Maya Lerner. Lerner sent it in, and MSP will have numbers as they try to forge an attack. Shot just to the left of Sims there. She was able to get the stick up and deflect it away. 13:30 left in the second period. That shot wide of the net. And Washington will bring it ahead. Washington and Cameron Sidhu. And Washington has set up some opportunities here early in the second. See if they can't get one in here shortly. And if they could, it would be a 3-1 game with plenty of time left to play. Still anyone's game here, even though MSP is working with a 3-0 lead. They've got it in the offensive end. They send it back, and they'll just move the puck around here, gliding it across the ice. Now they'll send it in. Grace Bickett. Bickett sends it in, and that'll be the 4th goal for MSP. I believe they pushed it in. They did. And that comes with 12:49 to play. Set up, and folks, I apologize. Didn't catch who will get credit for the goal, but that ought to be an assist for Bickett. Great pass in. Focus on Bickett here, the defenseman class of 2024, as per our roster. Helps her team to a 4-0 lead. And it might have even been deflected in. So we'll see what MSP can do. They'll bring it in. It's Sammy Hankinson. Hankinson, and that was centered up nicely. Did it go in? I think it was a save for Schiff, but we'll see. MSP is celebrating, and they've scored. It's MSP with a 5-0 lead, and that was just beautiful offensive teamwork. Schiff made a great effort at it, but couldn't quite stop it. Ellie Chapman for MSP White had a role in that. Not sure if she was the one who will get credit for the goal, but that was just good teamwork from MSP. So another face-off, and MSP now working it in the defensive end. Behind its own net, Sarah Peterson, again the goalie for MSP today. And Zawoski will bring it up, and we have a collision in the goal for Washington. Pinky Rasmussen and Avery Schiff collide there. Rasmussen the forward, and Schiff one of 2 goalies listed on this Washington Pride team. The other Laura South. Both from the graduating class of 2023. South and Schiff. And that collision stops the clock. I believe it knocked the net off its moorings. We're well back underway here. as MSP works from behind the net. They've been very adept at setting an offense up. And they will get a shot on Schiff there off the pad, and it was loose. Would have been an opportunity for Ryan Wright, but she wasn't quite in position yet. We keep it going, now in front of the net. Washington sends it out, but a shot in. In front of the net, knocked away. They'll give chase to it. And Grace McCluskey, the pass over to the boards. A whistle is blown, and we will have a stoppage. Good time to remind you that this is the NIT tournament brought to you by Tradition Companies. 11:03 left, second period, and we will have a face-off in the second closest circle to our camera. Washington wins it, and they'll try to work it. A lot of play along the boards in this one. And MSP will emerge with it here. Washington's going to poke it loose, though. Sent back, and Schiff has to stand on guard here. Another opportunity for MSP. They try to center it up, and that pass was intended for Isla Reiskamp. Just off the mark, however, and they play it along. Scooting along the boards there. Now it's Reiskamp again with an opportunity. Behind the net. And we'll see what Washington does here. A chance, 2-on-2 to set up an offense. They'll try to bring it ahead. It's Cameron Sidhu. And now they'll reset an offense. Shot in and off the pad of Peterson. That'll be a shot on goal. Nice work there from Peterson. Just rolled off the pad. Onside look here for Washington. Washington and Eli Schmunis lost it, and MSP will bring it ahead. MSP and Carly Humphrey is back there. And that was a nice pass back to Caitlin Ron. Schiff and the Washington defense holding tough here on this possession, and they'll have a chance to set something up. Bringing it ahead is Finn. Finn has it poked away to the left side. And MSP with a one-on-one look here. Here's a chance. Here's a look. And a goal. Caitlin Ron for MSP White. The sixth goal of the game for MSP White, U16. Comes with 9:01 to play in the second period, and as I mentioned, 6-0 favoring the team in white. And folks, that was a beautiful look there from Ron. Created a one-on-one opportunity and a nice move there to finish. She wins the face-off for MSP. And Washington battling from behind. They'll have a look here. Peterson in position. Peterson pulled to the right side. I think she came up with it there. And if she did, what a save that was. She did. And folks, I must apologize. Peterson has left the game. That was Lily Timmons with a beautiful save. So we'll credit Timmons for the save. Another pad save from Timmons. And Timmons has really had to work here in the brief time she's been in the game. Pulled to the right now. And the MSP offense will help her out a little bit. They'll bring it ahead. Into the offensive end. Schiff is still into the game. Or still in the game for Washington. Line change for both teams here. They'll bring in new fives. .740 to play, P2. Clock winds. Minneapolis St. Paul controls the faceoff. They'll work it in along the left. And a good look there. That was from Grace Sedura. Sedura, as I believe I've mentioned, a graduating class of 2023, a forward for this Minneapolis-St. Paul club. In the circle. Sedura lost it. Washington wins the faceoff. And they'll shovel it ahead. Shoveled ahead to Alexa Hanrahan. First time we've called her name today. She's into the game, number 14 in white. And Hanrahan has a shot, front of the net. Just off to the right. Schiff didn't have to work too hard at that one. Sent back. Back and over to the left. Lily Ramirez for MSP. Now sent back. Working it here along the blue line. Washington emerges with it. Lauren Jasuski gives chase for Washington. Went back, and Grace McCluskey tripped up a little bit there. Nothing intentional. We play on, and here's 2-on-1 for MSP. A look. Tipped ahead by Schiff. Nice save. Save off the pad, but MSP gets it back. They'll center it up, but it's intercepted. Intercepted there, pardon me, by Jasuski. And Jasuski brings it in. Behind the net. Looking for a shot, and it's a pad save from Timmons. Now sent back, it's Eli Shmunis. Shmunis over to the right side, and a shot came in from Maya Lerner, but it was right at the chest level of an MSP player, so all for naught. Line change here, and Minneapolis-St. Paul will look for an opportunity. LaRoche had one from the left, but the shot was just a little bit high. Back to LaRoche. LaRoche centered up. Couldn't tell if that was a shot or a dump in, but it was intercepted by Wiley. Puck is loose and heading back. Washington brings in a new group, but a chance here for MSP. In and through the pads of Schiff. It's going to be a goal, the 7th of the game for MSP. And I believe that was Ellie Chapman. So Chapman scores for Minneapolis-St. Paul. The scoreboard now flashes 8. See if that was a mistake or if we've missed one along the way. I had it as 7-0, but the scoreboard says 8-0. MSP brings it in. Great showing in their opening game of the tournament here. Shot in and saved by Schiff. That shot came in. I believe that was courtesy of Antonakis. So a face-off here coming in the offensive end for MSP. Now sent in, and that finds the net again. Another goal for Minneapolis-St. Paul. Running clock now. It continues to run. 3:15 in P2. And, folks, you've got to realize, though, this is only the first game of the tournament for both teams. So, certainly neither team can get too high or too low following this one. Loose puck along the boards. And if you were with us for the NAHA Labor Day tournament in Connecticut a few weeks ago, I don't believe either of these two teams participated in that, but plenty of teams here did. There were a few games like this in the early round as MSP looks in front of the net. Saved by Schiff. There were a few games like this in the opening round wherein one team jumped out to a huge lead wound up winning by quite a large margin, but then the team on the other end of that, the team that found defeat in that opening game, they wound up having a good tournament as well, and certainly a lot of opportunity for things to shift in the next game for Washington, or even in the next game for MSP. They've got to remember to stay focused and grounded here. Following this one, and all indications, of course, would be that they would do so. A great showing here. 8-0, 1:45 to play in period 2, and I mentioned that MSP was out to what I had believed to be a 7-0 lead. They added an 8th goal to the board, and they just kept that 8 up after the last goal. So whether or not they had made a mistake and realized it and fixed it, or had waved the last goal off, 8-0 is our score with 1:20 to play in period 2. Sent back, and MSP will look to set up an offense. It was Hankinson. Hankinson still has it, but it was poked back. Washington still putting up a good fight here. It's Cameron Sidhu, who was giving chase to that. And now MSP will bring it ahead. 55 seconds to play in the second. Isla Ricekamp now sends it back to Sammy Hankinson. Hankinson sends it in front of the net. MSP digging. And it is a goal. The 9th of the game for MSP. 20 seconds left here in the second, and we will have, folks, a bit of a longer intermission between these periods. They'll come out and work on the ice, I believe. Five seconds left in the second. And Washington will just run out the clock here. They send it ahead. Puck slides back to Lily Timmons, and that is the end of the second. MSP White with a big lead over Washington Pride, U16. In this, the third game overall at Vadnais, the TCO Sports Garden. Third game we've seen here, and the second on this rink today. And we'll have a bit of an intermission here, folks. We'll take a break and come back for the conclusion of this one as they work on the ice. Rink number 2 at TCO Sports Garden. MSP leading big. You are watching the Tradition Company's NIT tournament. Zamponis on the rink. We'll take a break and come right back. Back in Vadnais Heights, Minnesota for the third period between MSP White and Washington Pride U16. Glad you're with us. MSP White leading big here entering the third. But as I've mentioned, this is the first team of the tournament, or first game of the tournament for both teams. Certainly still room for anything to happen as we move throughout. Next game for Washington Pride U16. We'll see them on Rink 2 right here at 3 o'clock. They are taking on MSP Red. Washington Pride U19 is in action right now over on the other rink against Madison Capitals U19. That game working its final stages. MSP White wins the face-off, and we are underway in the third. As I mentioned, they are up big, 8-0 on the scoreboard. And if you're Washington here, you just want to come out and put a good period together here to close out the game. Build some momentum entering that 3 o'clock matchup against MSP Red. And these Minnesota teams that we'll see throughout the tournament, just so strong. Great competition from all around the country here, but these MSP teams have the advantage of playing in their hometown. A lot of teams, of course, flew in. They're staying in hotels and great accommodations throughout the area, of course, but nothing beats that good night of rest at home. Or at the very least in your home area. Here's a shot that'll go for Washington. And I believe that we can credit Nora Hinch with the goal there, the defenseman class of 2023. Washington is on the board. It was Hinch who sent it in. May have been deflected or something of the like there down low, but Washington has found the board. 13.5 to play in the third period. Let's advance it a little bit for MSP White. They only have one game left as Washington will emerge with the puck here, or try to. MSP is going to get it back. MSP only has one game left on this rink, in this building, actually. They are going to be back here on Sunday at 9 a.m. Rink 1, so just across the hallway. Taking on the Anaheim Lady Ducks. Here's a battle in front of the Washington net. Good defense from Washington to poke it away and give everything a chance to reset. MSP, though, will reset the offense. Good look in from Alexa Hanrahan. Still loose in front of the net. Still loose. Back, and MSP will look to rewind it here and reset things. Avery Schiff came out and made a nice save there. Good instinct to get out and glove it. 11:55 and running here in the third period. Joey Wright in with you. Happy to have the call all throughout the weekend here, alongside Will Vanderbilt on our camera. Paul Ranheim, the third member of our team in the building right now. He's running camera for the U19 team for Washington over on the other rink. They're playing Madison Capitals right now. And that game actually is probably, if it's not wrapped up by now, it's close. They were in the third period last I checked. MSP sends it in. Schiff got a glove on it and just tipped it away. But MSP is going to get a chance to look for it here, right at the point. Grace Bickett. The shot and a whistle. 10:40 to play. MSP's got to get back on side. And they'll do so. They'll send it over to LaRoche. LaRoche tried to send it in wide to the left. She gets it back, sends it over to Alyssa Antonakis. And Antonakis now behind the net. See if she can wrap it around. Can't quite do it. Didn't even try to that effect. And now she'll put a shot on goal, and it was saved. Nice save from Schiff. And that was right in the breadbasket. Just was able to get the glove over and stop it with relative ease. Just had to center herself up in front of it. Face off now in the MSP zone. Sent over to the boards. And behind the Washington net. So Schiff's got to keep a close eye on this. Over along the boards, right side, and right in front of our camera, we'll have a whistle. And I believe that we will have a penalty. We will. That'll be Grace Sedura sent to the penalty box. I believe she was called for holding. MSP goes offsides. This is going to be a chance for Washington. We'll see if they can get to it. And a quick shot. Nice look, all things considered, from Molly Murphy. Washington gets it back now behind the net. Still behind the net. MSP pokes it away, and their offense will set up. Just a tick over 8 minutes to play in the third. 8-1 favoring MSP. Behind the net. Sent back, now sent in. Shot and a glove save. Schiff. Shot came in from Catherine Hogue. 7.5 to play. Washington ahead. And that pass was sent in, intended for Catherine Wiley. Couldn't hang on to it. And now MSP will retreat and Washington will look to attack. They'll have a chance to set the offense up. See what they can do. Now MSP comes in, and they've just been so adept at defense in this one. Shot in. That was wide of the net. Timmons did not have to work at that one. MSP will set the offense up. Washington brought Estrada over there, and MSP is forced to dump it in. Washington looked to advance. And the puck is still loose. They'll send it back, and Timmons will tap it over. MSP centers it up. And a nice save from Schiff. And pardon us, folks, it's always a little bit tough to tell here at our level. As close as we are to the ice, a little bit tough to tell. You know, you want to make sure you get it right, but that was a nice save from Schiff. And she's been playing well here. Avery Schiff has in this third period. right into the glove. And that was a good look at the top from Sammy Hankinson. Team in white, they've gotten a few of those strong shots out from along the blue line. A few wristers, seen a few slap shots as well. And generally, they've been on target. They've been competitive. They've also scored well in from close. And it's really, you know, when you look at their scoring attack today, it's been that balance. As there's a shot right into the glove of Schiff. So, and that's been a good third period for her too. Avery Schiff in the goal. That's gonna let her build some momentum moving into their next game, which, as I mentioned, is right here on this rink. At 3 o'clock against MSP Red. Time right now is about 10:35, so with 4:20 on the board, they'll have, now you've got to do the math. Oh, no. Oh, probably, about 4.5 hours, 4 hours, 15 minutes or so, a little bit of a layover, shall we say, before their next game. Mental math, folks, during these broadcasts, not my strong suit, but we march on. 4 minutes to play in the third. MSP has this one well in hand. It's an 8-1 ball game, or not ball game, but you get the idea. MSP White will go over to Fogarty for its next game. And they will play today against Honeybaked 16U out of Michigan. As they score again, they'll play today at 4:20 on Fogarty North. Excited to have Brandon Spratt on the call for that one. 4:20 right here in that game, Fogarty North. That Honeybaked team is a good club. Had a chance to see them at the NAHA Labor Day Tournament in Connecticut a few weeks ago, and they've got a nice program. So that'll be a fun one today at 4:20. .240 to play, third period. Big lead for MSP. Next game that you could watch sequentially from this one, puck dropping at 10:50 for Tradition Red and Team Colorado U19 over on Rink 1. That's where I'll be heading right when this one concludes. 2 minutes and 5 seconds to play. So MSP has established itself well in this opening contest. Washington has had some positives in this one, but they've got to work hard to build on those later this afternoon. But yeah, if the goaltending continues to be as strong as it has been in this third period, some good saves, good fundamental work down there, you've got to figure that a bounce-back game could be in store. And I'm excited to see how that one transpires later this afternoon. 1:25 in the third period. The game in front of us, however, all but wrapped up. MSP White just crossing the I's. Folks, I apologize. Crossing the T's, dotting the I's. 1 minute to play in the third. Working it along the boards there, right side near the glass. That'll be an icing against Washington. Lauren Zawoski checks in for MSP. $15 left. See if either side tries to press. It is a shot on goal. And Schiff, I believe she let it in, so MSP will continue the scoring, and in fact, they'll end the game with that goal. Final score on the board is 8-1, favoring MSP White U16. They win it over Washington Pride U16. Thanks for sticking with us. Again, I'm Joey Wright alongside Will Vanderbilt on our camera. We leave you from Rink 2. I'm heading over to Rink 1, where it's Tradition Company's Red and Team Colorado U19. Puck dropping over there in just about 10 minutes. Should be a fun one, so join us over there. Next game for Washington Pride U16 is today at 3 o'clock and 4:20 over at Fogarty for MSPY. For Will Vanderbilt, I'm Joey Wright. Thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you again later.